Simon & Schuster AudioWorks presents Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Man, I've got the silver bullet for you.
Yeah.
Max. Do you want to know why? Do you want to know the one thing that is proof that Jerry Seinfeld is a hypocrite when it comes to all of this a war on woke culture and
Yeah,
stuff?
go on. Give me the scoop.
Because if he didn't care about people getting cancelled and thought cancelling was stupid, Louis C.K. would have been in the Pop-Tart movie. 100%.
That's true.
100%. If Louis C.K. didn't get cancelled for fucking whacking his schmeat in front of ladies who didn't want to fucking be around for that,
yeah,
his ass would be in the fucking Unfrosted movie in a second. He would have had a leading role, to be honest.
But he's the Louis C.K. is kind of coming back now. He's got uncancelled. He survived his cancellation. You know.
Did he get cancelled?
No. He's got like
but
stuff going
is,
again.
It's
like,
that's not my point though. I think Seinfeld would have put him in regardless.
Oh,
he would have been like, I don't care that you got cancelled by woke culture for the shit you did.
Yeah.
You're in my movie and you're gonna be the president of General Mills.
Yeah.
And you're gonna say I love cereal because they're like buddies. You know?
Are they? I don't know if they're buddies.
They were like comedians in cars getting coffee, probably.
Oh, okay. Probably. So you don't know.
I think Seinfeld was in Louis.
And
they have frequent like collaborators between each other. Well, they did.
They hang out.
CK's case.
Hang out and drink.
There was that one. There was that one comedian round table, I guess you could say, discussion.
Well, okay.
Between Ricky Gervais, Seinfeld, Chris Rock, and Louis C.K.
Yeah.
They were hanging out on that.
Okay.
Either way, they're within the same spheres, is what I'm
Okay.
saying. And if Louis C.K., if Seinfeld really didn't care about people being cancelled, he would have put him in. He would have been like the Pop-Tart mascot. You know? He would have been like a main character in that movie.
I don't know, man.
Seinfeld's a hypocrite.
I don't know their dynamics. I don't want to assume anything.
I'm happy to assume. I love assuming.
I feel like like Seinfeld. I don't think Louis C.K. would agree to be in this movie. Honestly,
are you kidding, bro?
Yeah,
he's in so much garbage.
Is he?
You remember he was in like Parks and Rec?
Oh, okay. But he wasn't
Parks
just like a guy in there. Like he was a cameo. He wasn't like.
Didn't he make like before he made like Louis, he made like a different sitcom that was like bad or something.
I don't know, Ben. You saying didn't he do this? I don't know. You're telling me. You're asking me to talk about these people. I have no idea. I don't know about comedians.
I think I'm getting Mandela affected.
I feel like you're just.
We've had lengthy conversations about Louis C.K.'s.
No, definitely not.
We've had a long.
Maybe you are talking to my Doppler or some kind of doppelganger that loves Louis C.K. or something.
No. I definitely remember.
You know, he was like, and I love the fact that my Doppler was like, and I love the fact that he was masturbating in front of women without consent.
With the things he was doing.
and I don't think
you didn't say that.
I didn't say that.
Fuck, bro. Who was I talking to?
It's just like,
who was that?
Well,
who was that? They say assuming makes an ass out of you and me, but for me, I love assuming.
Okay.
So for me, being an ass is positive because I'm an ass guy.
Okay.
So I tend to assume as much as I can because I love making an ass out of you and me. You know?
What is it? Don't they say it's a
double the ass?
Death of ass guys? Is it now happening or is it death?
What?
Yeah, I think so, right?
I gotta get in a bunker or something.
People are
they're gonna come for me.
I'm gonna come for you.
I think the good thing about butts is that it's gender neutral.
Ah, okay.
You know,
All right.
I think it's I don't think it like, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll
I
move
think
on.
they're gonna get you like
We'll
the,
move
you know, like out of the Blade Runner, they're gonna put you in
Yeah.
a device. They're gonna have the Voinkov test, and they're gonna have the butts and breasts, you know, and then they're
You
gonna
see, you're walking
see-
through the desert and you see an ass on its back struggling to get to flip itself over. What do you do?
Yeah, what do you do? It's like, I don't do anything. Okay,
I don't do
okay,
anything.
interesting.
Interesting,
A little, you know, and then
I give it a squeeze.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
interesting,
okay. And he takes out a gun and shoots you in the head. We got
Yeah,
one.
I feel I would be, dude. I would be so worried to pass that shit
Yeah.
if somebody
That-
was
I
doing that
feel-
stuff on me.
Isn't that kind of the point of it? That like in the end it was like, I guess it's like in the fiction of the world it doesn't matter because it just says it works.
Like
and
a
it
robot
works,
would
right?
get
You can-
nervous.
Yeah.
Like if a robot were doing it, they wouldn't get nervous because they're a robot.
Yeah.
But then a person would be like, "Boy, I sure hope they don't think I'm a robot."
Yeah, because I think the point of it is
Or
right
else they're
that
gonna
it's
kill me.
like a robot will have like a steady reaction to things, right? While a human is
Sure.
gonna deviate right from the norm, and that's what they're trying to kind of see, right? In the
They should
data.
try and jump them. Then they should be asking them the test, and then they should just go bah! halfway through.
and
And then if the robot has a late reaction, then you
Yeah.
shoot him in the head.
Yeah,
But if
exactly.
the person is like,
yeah,
"Why did you do that? Don't do that."
yeah, but then one robot fakes it and becomes
That's
a
the Blade
cop.
Runner,
That's the Blade Runner.
and that's the Blade Runner. I think.
Yeah.
I don't remember what happened in Blade
You don't
Runner.
remember? I don't remember.
I
either.
remember what happens in Blade Runner 2049 because I saw
Mm-hmm.
that one more recently. I saw the original Blade Runner a while ago, and I can't remember what cut I saw. I think I saw whatever cut
Yeah.
Gabs recommended to me.
I don't remember which cut I saw either. I
There's
don't.
so many cuts of that movie, dude.
Isn't there not the original cut has like Decker like doing the fucking like
got
commentary?
narration?
Yeah, he's got narration. It's like
I think
these people are too stupid to follow a plot.
people don't know what's happening. You gotta make it clear and
Why
concise.
why does everything look like pyramids? But yeah,
This is
Yeah.
stupid. The
Yeah.
future wouldn't look like this, and they were right.
That's true.
It didn't look like that.
It did
It
not.
looks like this bullshit we have now, where basically everything is just a decaying version of what they built 50 years ago.
Oh no. Woo! Yeah, I mean you have flying cars. I wish I had a flying car. Honestly, I feel like flying cars would be such a bad idea.
Yeah, of course.
honestly.
It's the flying car is a good litmus test, I think.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like if you want flying cars, then you are not somebody that thinks about like the logistics of something.
Mm-hmm.
You purely care about your own personal freedom. You don't realize that shit would be a nightmare. The amount of deaths involved with like automobiles and stuff would skyrocket. And on top of that, it wouldn't even be that liberating. It would be like when they open a new lane on a highway. There's just more traffic now.
Yeah, exactly.
Now the
it
traffic
it
is
just covers
layered.
the sky.
Yeah, now you're in your car, you look to the side, there's a car, look in front of you, car, behind you, car, above you, car.
Mhm. Yeah.
You can't escape.
And there'll be so many regulations, man. Like
Yeah,
you're
man.
thinking about this is gonna be like free, and now there's gonna be so many
Yeah,
more
like,
rules.
oh yeah, I can like fly to the store. Yeah, maybe if you're out in the fucking sticks.
Yeah, exactly.
But at that point, good luck finding an engineer who can fucking fix that shit for you.
fix it for. But then there's this one grease
Fix it
finger, what are they
again,
called,
Tony.
Grease thumb or whatever that fixes it, and he goes
A black thumb,
"Yeehaw!
like
I
from
can fix your
Furiosa.
flying machine, sir." You know.
You need a flying machine fixed? You're in the wrong country, boy. You get yourself back down to California.
Hmm. I feel like those sort of I
Get
feel
yourself
like
back down to Cyber City, where they'll fix that right up for you. Not
I
out
f-
here in Neo, Arkansas.
I
live in
feel
Neo,
like
Arkansas. Yeah, sorry, continue.
I feel like those sort of characters are a symptom of anti-intellectualism, and I don't like it. It's like, oh yeah, I can fix your flying machine that probably has 20 different engineers probably had to work on. Yeehaw, or something like that. It's like when Tucker in Enterprise takes a thing out of a thing and goes like, "Oh, you need to spit on it and then like rub it and then it work better," and then it puts it. I don't know why, but it does. And I was like, "All right, yeah, sure."
Very sexual. You need to spit on it. You need to take it out, spit on it, and rub it.
It is. You know, Enterprise was very sexual, so
it was, and Malcolm was definitely gay. We all recognize that.
Yeah, we all recognize that now. They were blind.
I saw an interview where somebody was asking, like, he was talking about, wasn't he gay? Like, the guy who played him. Anyway, it was like a red carpet interview, I think.
Wow.
Anyway, let's get this show over with. Are you ready to get the show over with, Max?
Yeah, we're trying to avoid it, but it looms over us.
Dead Ensigns.
Star Trek themed general media podcast, the only podcast which watches Discovery.
The only podcast brave enough to tell you the truth behind your favorite shows, and that truth, number one point numero uno, this show sucks.
Oh,
I'm Ben. That's Max.
Yeah, that's me.
You're hearing our sultry tones right now.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, I do also have notes, Max, I know Ash asked us about changes in Discovery in general.
Yeah.
I feel like that could take fucking forever to talk about, and also, I don't remember enough about the other seasons to say what I think could it be improved. But I could talk about what I would change in this season that might make it more interesting.
Yeah,
at least from my point of view.
I got some general points,
As an entitled nerd fan, I have come with a list prepared of things that I think would be better than what the writers wrote.
Okay.
Point number 1. Picard appears again. They clone him and they bring him back, and he is the captain instead of Burnham. Point number 2. Kirk is there. And it's William Shatner as well. It's not the new Kirk.
They de-age him.
William Shatner. They don't even de-age him. It's just regular old Shatner. He doesn't need to be de-aged. He's perfect as he is. Point number 2. Leonard Nimoy returns as Spock. I don't know what he did that made it so you won't let him come back as Spock, but you need to get over it and bring back Leonard Nimoy as Spock.
He killed that. He was a murderer in that Columbo episode we watched. I think that's what.
Is that why? Did people find that and they were like, "Let's cancel this guy. He played a murderer."
Cancel this guy because he was a surgeon.
And that's
in the
why
Columbo
that's why they had to get that other guy to play Spock.
Yeah.
This world is fucked up.
This world is fucked.
You know what? Seinfeld was right.
One little mistake, and then
you made one little mistake, like Leonard Nimoy, and now they won't even let you be Spock anymore. One of the most iconic characters in television.
Yeah. Apparently, that guy.
Unfortunately, he played a murderer in an old TV show of Columbo, and everybody got their knickers in a twist, as they say. Seinfeld was right, man.
Okay.
Seinfeld was right. Bring back Leonard Nimoy. Anyway, continue.
Apparently, the guy that played Spock in the movies, he apparently
Zachary
got
Quinto.
Yeah, he got like, he was like shouting at staff in the restaurant and like throwing stuff at them, which was pretty cool.
That's your God-given right as a restaurant patron.
Yeah, and also it was his human side, acting up.
He was method acting as the human side of Spock. Anyway, let's talk about the shitty finale of this stupid-ass season of Discovery, Season 5. Apparently people liked it. I don't know, man.
Some people, but a lot of people didn't. So it's not. I'm not saying. When we were whispering into each other's ears before we started recording, I didn't mean that there was unanimously people loved this season. It was just that there were people that were like, "Oh yes, this season is good because it's bringing Star Trek back."
Tell you what, this season is good because it's done. Can I get an amen?
Yeah.
Let's start with last episode. Burnham nobly and heroically jumped face first into the portal that she didn't know anything about because she had to follow Maul, a person who is so stupid. But unfortunately, she's stupid in the way that it makes her smart for a TV writer.
Yeah.
So Burnham can't leave her alone in the portal because what if she just happens to like stumble her way into solving the New York Times puzzle that's inside?
Yeah.
Burnham can't let that happen, so she has to jump right in. She has to dive right into the portal. And then the device holding the portal exploded for some reason and made a big After Effects portal, a big Houdini portal in space in front of this black hole. And now Discovery, with Rayno behind the wheel, they gotta fucking worry about the Breen coming after him and the portal and everything. Even though they like blew up their whole docking bay, right?
Yeah, they did. They fucking
They
flew
blew up
in
their
there.
whole docking bay and killed everybody inside of it. But then also this episode, there's a whole load of ships attacking them from the
Yeah,
Breen
there's
ship.
fighters. Breen fighters are also got.
Green fighters. They were okay. They survived.
No,
Anyway,
they weren't.
Burnham's inside of the portal today. Isn't that fun, Max?
Yeah, I can't wait. I bet she's gonna find something interesting inside. It's going to change Star Trek forever.
It's going to change the way we look at this universe because let me tell you, people, when the progenitor character was introduced and was talking to Burnham, I was like, this character is awesome. And then on top of that, they dropped the incredible information that the progenitors didn't even make the progenitor tech. It was already there. They just found it.
I finally can recommend Discovery or Star Trek to my Christian friends, because creationism was not, it's not excluded by this
There
explanation.
might
because
still be a god in this
there might
universe.
still be a god, and he
And
might
I
have
guess,
created something that then created the progenitor technology, you know?
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe there was somebody before them too.
Yeah.
We don't know. And as Burnham so astutely points out when she destroys the progenitor technology, she says, "Well, if whoever made this is still around, then they can just make it again.
Make another one, yeah.
Then I guess they can just make another one.
Yeah.
It's fine."
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is incredible logic at the end of the day. She's 100% correct. If they happen to still be around, they can make another one.
But yeah,
This is assumingly trillions-year-old race.
yeah.
If
And-
the progenitors were billions of years old and they're the people that predate them,
Mhm.
then I would assume that whoever made this shit's like 1,000,000,000,000+ years old, I guess.
Yeah.
Older than the known universe in some way?
But the thing about it is that, like, even do you want to continue with the summary, or are we just going on off?
Here's the thing. This is an hour-and-a-half episode, so let's do a quick summary. Because really, there's not too much to summarize. Especially if you'd completely knock out the two subplots that don't really matter that much to the actual plot. Like Saru and Rayno's thing, you know? The main point of this episode is that Burnham gets to the progenitor tech with Mol. Mol tries... Burnham lets Mol know about the secret about solving the puzzle, which is like the one inside the many or something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the one
They
between
come
the
to
many
the-
or something like that.
the one-
Between,
something
because it's
like
like
that.
about between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They come up to a puzzle, a whole bunch
Fucking-
of triangles, little
I wouldn't be
plastic triangles.
They could have just
in
had
a field of flowers.
a fucking like a slide puzzle, like a fucking slide puzzle,
honestly,
something
for
like
real.
anything. Fucking hell.
They say one inside the many. Mol, being a genius, says, "Well, clearly we have to make a big triangle with the little
Yeah,
ones."
a
But
pyramid.
Burnham says, "No, that's too obvious. It must be more important than that." While Burnham is trying to think, Mol knocks her out with one punch.
No, she hits it on the back of the head with a rock.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's
It
what
looked like
happens,
she
because
just
I
kinda
did
hit
laugh
her.
at that. 'Cause and there's
Well,
like
that's a
there's an
classic.
After Effects blood splatter comes out of her head, which is
Oh, I didn't see
yeah.
that.
I saw that and I was like, oh, this is like serious,
I
because she's
missed
got
that.
like brain damage now.
Yeah,
But no,
was
she
gonna-
gets up.
Well, you know what? Maybe that's what makes the rest of this episode make sense.
Yeah.
Is that it's her getting her bleeding out from a big brain.
Yeah,
damage.
yeah.
She's got a damn concussion.
Yes, they've concussed holes in
Well,
the
either
brain.
way, Mol is like, you know what? Fuck this Burnham, bitch. You know what? I can figure this out on my own. 'cause
Yeah,
I'm the smartest character in all of Star Trek. I'm a genius.
But it was
and I'm right the first time. Let me
All-
make a big triangle with
all
little
along,
triangles.
what she didn't realize is that the writers were setting up a trap for her. The writers were...
A fair interpretation of the riddle, but ultimately incorrect. She gets like blasted or something.
She just like holds on and like is shocking her continuously.
Yeah, she gets like blasted with energy, question mark.
It's a Sibian.
Anyway, Burnham wakes up. Oh my god, dude. Burnham wakes up, sees Moll is like fucking having a seizure on the ground, and she's like, "Ah, you fucking moron." All right, let me figure this out. Okay, it's not a big triangle made with the little triangles. It's a big triangle made with negative space with the little triangles.
Yeah.
Which
There's
move them
space
around.
between the many.
Ding!
That's awesome.
Correct. The negative space is what you needed, Burnham. Correct. Good job. And thus, this, as the scientists did decree, proves that you are just and noble, and that you have every right to wield the progenitor's technology.
Yeah.
This is all you needed to do.
Mm-hmm. What's the difference between this and like having like the fake book in the like simulation in the library? Just say, oh, the code is like 6245. You know, what's the difference?
What does the triangle puzzle have to do with wielding the technology?
I don't know.
What does any of it have to do with being
a captcha.
the right
It's
person?
a captcha. That's why.
It's stupid, man.
It's a captcha, man.
It's so dumb. I think this season would have been improved if they straight up just had one guy who faked it and didn't put something to the puzzle. So he was just like, no, I don't think anybody can wield this shit.
Yeah. I decided for everybody.
I don't think there's any point.
There is a guy, there's a grave in the fucking progenitor, inside the progenitor technology of a guy that tried to use it and they murdered him.
Oh, no, I don't think he tried to like use it. I think he was like, I think when they were trying to figure out this technology, I think the implication is that when in the process of them trying to figure it out, he did the puzzle wrong. Like
maybe
died. And then they buried him right there.
Instead of where his family is. Yes.
Instead of anything like that, they just put a pile of rocks on
He was
top
alone. That's why they send him out. He was alone. So they knew it's like the wish granter in Roadside Picnic. They said you send out the guy into the meat grinder to get it disabled, and then you can walk and then saunter in.
And then you can go right on through and wish for happiness for everyone all the time, infinite. And nobody's ever upset.
Yeah, nobody's ever upset.
Yeah, so Burnham she makes the triangle in negative space, and then the progenitor appears and is like, "You did it! Good job! You're in charge now. Let me teach you how to use this technology." And she's like, "I gotta get back. My friends are dying." And they're like, "No, don't worry. This is like a pocket dimension of time.
Yeah,
basically, no time is passing. Don't worry about it. We can chill and talk here for however long you want."
Yeah.
They have a conversation. The progenitor is like, "Hey, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. We didn't make this. We just found it too."
Yeah, we found it.
Which to me makes the progenitors seem very conceited.
Mm-hmm.
Like they found this technology that can make life throughout the whole universe, and they were like, "Let's make like copies of ourselves, right? Everybody, like there should be more of us, right? Should be lots and lots more of us. Is that a good idea?" So they did that.
That's that's their idea of what it was, and then she says, "Whatever you decide, Burnham, is gonna be, what you decide. It's you get to decide." She literally says, I think I wrote it down, the quote. She literally like says, "I get to decide." It's like she, it's really my decision. That's what she says. I'm like, what?
It's like, where did you think you were heading, sister?
Yeah, I know. It's like. It's so weird.
Do you think all of those little tiny fucking Sudoku puzzles were leading to you not having control of this device?
Yeah. And like I like how the progenitor is like trying to like start the like tutorial.
Yeah.
And she goes like, "Wait."
She really wants to be like, "Hey, can I please just show you how this works?"
Yeah. And then, of course, she goes like, "I gotta go back. I need to save my friends. There's something going on. Something bad is going on." And then
The progenitor is
it's like,
like,
okay, I can wait, okay,
it's
but
fine.
come back
You can just come
soon.
back.
Come back
just
soon.
just click remind me later.
Yeah. And
They
then-
say whatever you decide, you can do. The progenitor's literally just like so chill. She's like, hey, look, I've been waiting here billions of years for
she's
the next
like
person to turn up.
hologram. She's not
She's
an
like a
actual
hologram.
progenitor.
No, I know,
yeah,
but
yeah.
the way
I'm
she
just
talks
saying.
about it like I've been waiting.
I
you
know, I
She
know.
says I've been waiting like a
Yeah,
billions
she's like
of
an
years.
instance of ChatGPT. A tab opened on the web.
She's like
browser.
Zora.
Yeah, she's like,
Either way, the main point is that you can go deal with other stuff and come back if you want,
Yeah.
but you're gonna come back and let
Yeah.
me know what you decide.
Yeah, of
right?
course. Yeah, you're gonna come back, right?
Definitely. Burnham escapes because Book was there along with Hugh. Thank
Yeah.
God Hugh was there. She brings Moll with her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, important
Yeah.
final note in the Moll and Locke storyline. Burnham says, "What about bringing people back from the dead?" And the progenitor is like, "Nah,
You can only make.
we can make a copy of
Copy.
them. They won't have any memories.
Yeah.
They'll be like a baby. They'll basically just be a newborn infant with
Yep.
an adult body. It would be fucked up. It'd be kind of weird and disgusting, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But you could do that if you want.
It would be
if
like
that's
that-
what you're into.
that
You're
weird
in
and
charge now. Hey, this is your this
like
is
that-
your rodeo.
It would be like that one disgusting movie, the human movie I watched called Poor Things.
Be like that one disgust. I like. Frankly, the fact that I've seen that and I'm letting you take control of this is a testament
Actually,
to
yeah. Some
But,
bad
like,
people could do real bad
some,
things with this.
now that I'm thinking about it, especially seeing as the progenitor is literally like, come to think of it, now that, seeing as I'm the person that came up with these stupid tests alongside the scientists,
Oh yeah, cause then
she's like, I helped them make the perfect tests
Yeah.
to find the perfect person to be in charge of the
stupid.
future of this
progenitors
device.
are stupid too.
They were dumb as fuck. Clearly, they didn't even make this shit. They just turned up and they were like, "Whoa, this shit can make fucking weird creatures."
Yeah.
You guys want to play Spore Creature Creator? Let's give this thing 15 legs and a fucking big proboscis and
Yeah.
7 eyes. And when it runs around, it goes.
And then the people in the future are gonna be like, "Oh, they must have been geniuses."
They must have been the. Oh my god!
there
Think
was-
about the ancient secrets they left behind. Oh my goodness, we have to find this, especially before it falls into the wrong hands.
Yeah.
Which evidently it was in the wrong hands before.
Yeah.
They already had it, these morons. Luckily, they were too stupid to do anything evil.
Mm-hmm.
The whole time they're talking like, oh yeah, we were enlightened. That's why we could control this thing.
Yeah.
No, they just found it and they were like, well, anybody going to use this thing? No? Okay, we'll do it then. These
And they
guys suck,
did
bro.
wait until someone actually said they're gonna use
Yeah.
it, which is at least that's what they got going for them.
So the main point is the progenitor was like, we can't bring Locke back. Sorry, he's dead. So that's the end of the Moll Locke thing.
Yeah.
Moll is like, Burnham goes and tells her. She says, yeah, the progenitor told me in secret and private in my mind that we can't bring Locke back. And then Moll was like, all right, okay, you know what? Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm
yeah,
gonna
she
stop
really
now."
took it not as badly as I would have thought, honestly, from
Yeah,
the way
yeah.
they handled this character. Honestly, like that's the
Yeah,
the
she
stupid
makes a
thing
lot of
about-
grief stricken, like even beyond it being justified by being stricken by grief, she makes a lot of just stupid decisions.
Yeah.
Like even just fighting Burnham at the start of this episode and trying to kill each other is like, why are you even fighting?
Yeah.
Like you already are aware that Burnham has like an extra thing. Why are you trying to kill each other? Just be like, all right, you know what? This is the main thing that they kind of tried to hammer in with Moll, is that she doesn't trust the Federation.
Yeah.
But they never give a reason why she doesn't trust the Federation. She just
Yeah, that's
doesn't.
true. She just doesn't.
She's just like, I just don't like them. And
Yeah.
because of that, it means that she's willing to just kill Burnham at any point, even when it's not beneficial to her in any way.
Yeah, because
Just like, fuck it, I'll kill her, because I don't like the Federation.
yeah. I don't know.
Even
like-
right here at the end, when it makes the most sense to just be like, look, okay, let's just work together, okay? I just want my boyfriend back, my husband.
Yeah. Husbando.
Even then, she's like, I'm gonna, hold on, you're trying to figure out the puzzle? Whack! Not
Yeah.
today, I already know it.
Yeah.
Beep,
it's
beep, beep,
just-
beep, beep. Oh!
Yeah. The fucking thing with like they're like fighting, and Burnham is like, drop the gun because you have like no leverage here.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. Burnham is like, okay,
Don't.
I
If
guess.
you kill me, you can't do it.
Yeah.
You're at a dead end. I'm the only person with him. Either way, Maul is stupid, and despite being insane with grief in all of her decision making, at the end, Burnham is like, "Yeah, the progenitor told me we can't bring him back," and she's like, "Fuck, really?
Yeah,
Damn."
I thought she's gonna go like, no, you're
Yeah,
lying to me.
That's the point where it's like that's when she should turn, not like fucking
Yeah.
15 minutes ago
Yeah, that's true.
when
They
it would
could
make
have
no sense
reversed
to
it.
turn.
Yeah, they could.
That's when she should have been like, "You're fucking lying," and then she's like goes and tries to do it, and then she fucks up, and then that's when you have like a big tragic moment at the end when she does recreate him,
Yeah.
and he doesn't have any fucking memories, and
Yeah.
Burnham is like, I told you,
Mm-hmm.
I told you,"
Yeah.
and then she's like, "Fuck, you did tell me. You know what? You did tell me.
Yeah,
You did
tell me.
warn me about this.
Yeah.
My own hubris, it has come back for me."
Would it be funny if
And then
she,
I don't
like,
know,
t-
zombie Locke can be like, and then kill her.
No,
or
you
something,
well,
I
you
don't
don't
know.
realize she creates Locke, and he and it's in the shape of like him, and then it all sloshes to the ground because he's not in a suit.
'Cause
and
he's a slime guy.
He's a slime.
He's a
green.
slime guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a slime.
And
green
then, and
guy,
she
his
she
secret
tries to pick
face.
him up. I can't pick him up. I can't.
He's just turning to slime.
He's going through my fingers.
No. And then Burnham can like leave her in there when she throws the thing into the black hole or something. I don't know. Either way, that's not what happens. Burnham instead goes, "All right, time to go home," and she takes Maul with her. And Maul is like really bitter. She's like, "I guess I'm gonna get arrested now, aren't I?" And it's like, "Yeah, bitch, obviously."
Yeah.
What did you? You can't act indignant about it now. You did all that
Yeah,
shit.
you did all these things.
You killed people for
Yeah.
this. You made a lot of bad shit happen. Like
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands are dead
Yeah.
because of all of this.
You-
Like
you were actively impeding the Federation from doing this, you know?
You can't turn around, and this is like the defining moment for why I think this character is just a complete moron. Just like one of the worst written characters in all of Star Trek, because at this final moment she turns around and is still like so snippy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, "Oh, I guess you're gonna arrest me now," and it's like, fucking yeah. Why
Yeah.
are you acting this way? Like you what does it serve? You're just being an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, is that really all this character is? They're just like a snippy, vindictive asshole. Like
Yeah.
even when they're trying so hard to make us be sympathetic because fucking Locke died. At the end of the day, she's just a stupid asshole. Who gives a fuck about her? And so much of this season revolves around her and her dumbass boyfriend, man. It's so stupid. I'll get into what I think maybe they could have done differently to make them a bit more sympathetic later on, rather than what they did, which is just making them like thrill junkies for some reason.
Yeah. Because they were
But either way, they bring
mirroring
Maul back.
Books and Burnham's relationship with
Barely.
them.
I would say they're not even mirroring. Like, they're nothing alike.
Yeah.
Their origin isn't anything alike. Their reasoning isn't anything alike. They just don't. I don't think saying they're like supposed to be a parallel to them is
Book
is
says the
fair at
thing in that one episode where he's
Book
like,
says the
they're
thing.
in love, they're madly in love,
Book
and
says the
just
thing,
and
they're
then
madly
he
in love.
winks at the
Just
camera,
like
and just
we
like
were.
we were, you know,
Just like we were, so
Yeah.
you can relate, right, Burnham?
Mhm.
No, these guys. No, this lady is stupid. I think this lady
I'm
has like a
nothing like
sub.
that.
I think this lady has a sub 80 IQ. I think she's dumb. I think she might just
Yeah.
be stupid.
Yeah.
Like
But-
through and through. Anyway, they bring Maul back and they heal her up, and then they're on the bridge. Burnham is like, "Oh yeah, I talked to like a progenitor's like echo essentially."
Yeah.
And they were so chill, and they were talking about how awesome, and they were saying like they didn't even invent this thing, somebody else did. How crazy is that? Anyway, I'm gonna yeet this into the black hole because
Yeah.
I don't think anybody should. I've decided we're not even gonna touch it. I've decided
Yeah.
what we have is pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like, everybody's pretty happy with it. She's talking to Stamets, who at the beginning of this season was like, I'm going to kill myself if I don't have something to work on.
I need to.
If I don't, have an important discovery
I need a big scoop
to make. I need a big thing to, like, really sink into and, like, make my life's goal.
Yeah.
He's sitting there fuming because Burnham is like, I think it will just, like, everybody okay with just throwing this into the black hole?
Yeah. Anyone gonna
Everybody
eat this?
just okay with getting rid of it?
Okay. Drops it. And
They're like, why are you doing this? Is like one of the most important scientific discoveries ever, and you're just going to throw it into the black hole? And luckily, Burnham had great solid reasoning of, well, look, if the people who made it are still around, they can just make it again. So, and if they're not around, then who cares, right?
Yeah.
And they have to fucking carry Stamets out of the room.
Yeah. No, he accepts it. He's like,
he does accept it, but it's the same thing as
and then also Reyna tells him that he's, oh, really, we're gonna do this because you're like, you have no reason to live.
Yeah. Oh, this isn't about you.
Yeah,
it's your legacy. This isn't about your legacy.
Yeah.
It's about Burnham's legacy.
It's about Burnham's legacy.
And Burnham's deciding for her legacy, she's gonna throw it into the black hole.
Yeah.
And you just have to deal with it. Sorry. It's like in the third season with the burn and stuff, when Hugh and some other people were on the dilithium planet with the dilithium man, and they were like, Hugh was like, Stamets was like, I need to go and save my husband. I don't want him to die.
Yeah.
And Burnham was like, no, you need to stop, because if you do anything, then everything's fucked. And he's like, I literally just want to go and save my husband. And Burnham has to vent him into space because she's like, sorry, if he dies, he dies.
Yeah, you know. Fine.
Stamets always gets the short end of the stick in this show, I think, man.
Yeah, his husband dies, then he kind of
gets brought back to life and hates him.
He's half tardigrade.
He has to have the tardigrade in him to fucking keep going. He's like nearly dying all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He fucking gets forced into the future to leave his family behind.
He's undermined constantly.
He's undermined all the fucking time.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for Stamets, man.
Yeah.
And then right at the end, he doesn't even get anything. I don't think he even gets like a nice reconciliation scene or any kind of intimate moment at the end with Hugh. He's just not in it. Like, they do the thing where Burnham fucking throws it into the black hole, and then he doesn't appear again until the very end with Burnham's flashback.
Because
what
happens is like Hugh, like, you know, realizes, oh, I never was kind of free, you know, to do what, and he goes to Vegas and he like just has sex with everybody, you know, all over the place.
You know what? Good for him.
He goes and just blows everyone he sees, you know. He's finally free, you know. He realizes maybe this is what I was missing and I need to do this, Stamets, and Stamets is like just left there, you know, on his own, you know, having to witness it.
Yeah. Speaking of Hugh, can we talk about Hugh a little bit as an aside before we get into the climax and the epilogue of this series, this whole series?
The epilogue,
As I'm sure if you're listening, you've probably heard us talk about Hugh this season and about how after he got the trill in him,
trill treatment,
after he got the trill treatment and became a different guy. He spent every scene talking to somebody about how he feels like he's changing, even though he doesn't seem to be exhibiting any signs of change in any way. It's not like Barkley, when Barkley became super smart and he started like acting or behaving different and doing things differently or better, you know? Instead, he was just walking around going, I feel different, you know? I feel like I'm changing.
Yeah.
Anyway, luckily, how does that culminate this season, Max? What's the end of this great subplot we've had?
Well,
this definitely doesn't feel like they were like, we don't have anything for you.
Yeah,
this season.
How
does it culminate? Please enlighten me.
How do we end this? And the writers were like, well, we can just say he just feels like he should be on the shuttle with Book, and that's it. And then
ladies and gentlemen, he read the script.
And he was like, "I need to be there." It says Hugh enters left, you know,
He used his mystical South American powers to read the script.
and he's there, and he knows the frequency that they need to capture the progenitor's like portal with, and then is there to heal Maul when she's like needs first aid, and he says ever since like when he's on the shuttle, his book is like there's so many frequencies that can be like used for this, and he's like try this one exactly. And he's like, how did you know this? How it worked? How did you know? It's like just ever since that guy, the Trill, I just knew all of this. And I'm like, you just sound like you've been brainwashed. Like you sound like subliminal messaging was used on you to do this. Like this doesn't sound like this is your free will right now, because that's how the way he acts throughout this season is that he looks like insane. He looks in distress from that. And I feel like that's CIA subliminal messaging basically was used on him by the Trill.
He did become a sleeper agent for the scientists.
Yeah. That's
which
basically what he was.
I guess it's like, did they plan for this contingency?
Maybe. But
was this something that the scientists were like, let's hope they have another guy who can become the Trill so that we can impart on him really hyper-specific knowledge in the future? Yeah. I guess.
And also, you know...
That's it.
But actually, we're wrong, because the montage we get before the epilogue it says that sometimes things don't have answers with Hugh. So, we're wrong. Remember the montage?
I hate the people that made this show, I think.
Yeah, because it's like...
I think I don't want to be too hyperbolic, but I feel like if I don't think I'd be able to, like... I don't think I'd have any... I don't feel, like, genuine, like, burning hatred for them. I don't feel, like, emotion, I guess. But I feel like if I were to ever meet anybody that, like, wrote any of this, I just would not... I wouldn't have any respect, I guess.
Yeah.
I would just treat them like they're less than a dog to me.
Jesus Christ. Okay. I would use the progenitor technology to kill them. but
I would just feel like
I feel like, you know,
were you just cashing a check? Seriously? Because if that's the case, that's fine. But
the people that wrote this show had a very bad... They took some really bad lessons from things, basically, from like other media where you, for example, Twin Peaks, right? Where you have shit that doesn't make sense all the fucking time, right? You're lost, and it's part of the kind of like charm of it, right? But it does it in a good way.
It's part of the feeling that it's trying to evoke.
And the thing about it is that, like, you know, when you're watching Twin Peaks...
It's not that Twin Peaks doesn't have answers, it's that the answers are there for you to interpret.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, you've opened a box, and then you realize there's a false bottom at the bottom of the box, you know, or something, and it lets you reach deeper, you know, or something like that. But here, in this show, it's like, you open the box, the shit in the box, you wipe the shit, the box,
like, why is there shit in this box? And the writers go, I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, and then, you know, yeah, exactly.
Who can say? Who can say who put the shit in there?
Who put the shit
at the end of the day? Whose shit is it?
And then you realize I actually never cared about the fact that this shit in this box.
Yeah. That's Hugh, I guess.
Yeah, and it like the feeling that I wanted to describe to you about this entire plot line feels like putting your teeth on the curb, like throughout the entire thing, and you're like, as someone's just telling you, put your teeth on the curb, and then in this last season, this last scene where they go, actually there's someone just hitting you, just kicking your head.
You
basically.
Finally get stomped. It's interesting as well because I had to point this stuff out to you at first. Because you didn't really grab onto the Hugh stuff originally, but it was driving me insane watching the episode.
Yeah.
So I remember you being like, yeah, they don't really explain it. Yeah. And I'm glad that it culminates in you.
Because I was giving him a benefit of the doubt as a pure soul that I am, right? You know, I'm a pure. Never. I realized that now I need to be jaded and what's it called, like petrified as you, right? Hard, you know, hardened as you, you know.
I think generally jaded is a good way to take it. I think if you go into something already disappointed, you can only go up from there. You really can only go up.
Yeah,
It's like it's the
like-
best way to treat anything. It's like it can only get better.
like that, like Zendaya in the Spider-Man, you know, she's like, I always don't ever have any sort of, you know, hopes and dreams because you get disappointed, you know.
I'm not even saying hopes and I'm not even talking about a grand lesson for life. This is specifically just for like if you're gonna read a book, if you're gonna watch a TV show or play a game or watch a movie or listen to music, just go in with like you should just have no expectations. Be ready to hate it. You can only be impressed.
Yeah.
It can only go up. There's no way it can get any lower.
Hughes
And like with this show, I already went in going, this show's gonna be dog shit. And then wouldn't you know at the end, who's correct? What's in the box? It's dog shit. Who would have thought? With Strange New Worlds, I went into that thinking, I don't know about this. I think that's going to be more of the same shit. And then I get pleasantly surprised. It's not incredible, but it's only up, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
and
only up.
the Hughes fucking storyline does really feel like a child's like a children's book where they're like, and the moral at the end is that, you know, don't talk to strangers or something like that. But in this,
For me, Hughes' storyline feels like they had to give him like a controller that wasn't plugged in. Like he's in the show and they pay him a salary and stuff. They pay him, he's got a contract to be in this season.
Yeah.
And have a certain amount of screen time and lines.
Yeah.
So they're
they're like, oh, we fucking put these gay guys in our show and we gotta give them something to do because then they'll say we're fucking bigoted because we just put gay guys in our shows and they don't do anything, you know? It's literally what it is.
They put two gay characters in the show and they're like, yeah, well, how about that, everybody? And then people are like, cool, they should kiss. And then they're like, ugh, oh,
maybe a little bit. We'll angle the camera in a way. We'll angle the camera in a way where you can't actually see him kiss, you know?
If we do that, can we have somebody else film it? Ew.
If anybody feels uncomfortable, they can leave the
Max,
soundstage.
Because Max, their inclusion in the show and their relationship isn't about their sexuality. They can just be normal guys who have sex with each other without showing any intimacy.
Yeah.
They don't need to show any sort of chemistry or intimacy. Fuck you.
At least, you know, they don't have to show any chemistry, right? Like, just having the idea of them, like, oh, these seem like these guys are together, sort of thing. You know, like, oh, they're...
Remember how they basically adopted Adira, too? Remember how Adira is basically portrayed as their child, like, from the last season?
Yeah, that is true, yeah. That is true. And Stamets is like, yeah, I taught you well at the end. Or something, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, they're always trying to bestow life lessons to Adira.
Do we want to finish
a smaller part, Gray?
Do we want to finish?
Yeah,
this,
let's go into that's the wrap up on Hugh. I think Hugh is indicative of like just the absolute poor quality of writing in this whole show. Mm-hmm. Just the complete dog shit that they're feeding you.
Yeah,
it's awful. It's atrocious.
Yeah,
but it's over. Smile because it's over.
Smile because it's over.
Yeah. Don't feel remorse that it happened.
Yeah.
Smile because it's over. All right. Yeah. So let's get into it.
Like
all good stories.
Wait. We get like a little montage of them saying all the things, all this because this happens. Wait, does this happen after the episode?
No, the montage happens earlier.
Yeah. So they go like.
Montage happens with Burnham and the progenitor, I think.
They say like, oh, Hugh, you know, he doesn't get anything explained to him, and that's good.
Well, they're just going through every character and discovery and being like, here's what drove them, and this character was driven by this, and anyway, that's not important. Either way, Burnham throws the progenitor technology into a black hole, and then they dust their hands like, all right, everybody, good job. Let's go back home. Which they do, like all good stories, you gotta end with a wedding, you know? Like Lord of the Rings, like Metal Gear Solid 4. my two cultural references for ending with a wedding. You gotta end with a wedding, and it's Saru and the lady, this is where the Vulcan lady's wedding.
Yeah.
Yippee. What a nice ceremony they had.
Yeah.
Burnham is going around, she's shaking hands, she's making her presence known before she dips out of the party.
Yeah.
She's rubbing elbows with some people.
It's Sarus and the Vulcan ladies.
I said that. I already said
Oh,
that.
did you? Oh, okay.
I said that already.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Anyway, it just threw off my train of thought completely. Where was I? Oh yeah, Burnham. That she runs into Book. Book is all dressed up nice. And Book is like, "Can I talk to you quickly?" They go outside. Book is like, "By the way, man," they're like, "Whoa, boy, what a mission, am I right? What an adventure." Book is like, "By the way, I still love you," and Burnham is like, "I still love you as well." And then they're like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I guess we'll be.
You want to hang
I guess
out
we'll be together then.
Yeah.
You want to hook back up?
Yeah. And
Burnham
then
is like, aren't you still like doing all that community service for Federation? He's like, no, this mission like there was enough credits I needed to get.
yeah.
out." And she's like, oh, cool, all right,
Yeah.
well,
good boy
yeah,
credits.
I guess let's
I gathered
just
enough to pay off.
let's just
my-
be married. They have
Yeah.
very little chemistry in this scene.
And then the Kovich device goes off, and they go, "Ooh, a new mission
they're
from
like,
Kovich."
oh, another Kovich mission. Oh, that was important. We forgot to say that Kovich is actually Agent Daniels from Enterprise because, I don't know, why not?
Yeah,
Fuck it,
and
you
yeah,
know.
they have
Why
like
not? Why not?
I don't know. Honestly, I
Look,
don't really.
Paul.
He like tells her that like he's like, oh well, my name is somewhat of a red directive itself, and then he just tells her, which is I was like, all right,
He's
I guess.
well,
it's not-
he's like, oh, I've lived many lives. and
Yeah, I
I've-
was like,
I've
all right, is he a
known many
Q?
missions.
Yeah,
or
it was like
something.
a Q. Or
and
something.
then they show his shelf and it has like LaForge's visor and fucking like baseball for Cisco and
Yeah.
stuff, and it's like it really does make it feel like you're setting it up to be like, oh, is this guy like a Q all along?
Yeah.
And then he's like, and then Burnham is like, I'm Captain Michael Burnham. It's a pleasure to meet you. And then he's like, Agent Daniels, USS Enterprise, and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting pull.
Yeah.
Why does he have LaForge's glasses?
Yeah. He should
What's
have
the
a picture-
implication? What
he
are we
should have-
supposed to
he
imply?
should have
from
a
this?
picture of 9/11 in like frame.
He should have a picture.
Because it's like
of 9/11.
because that's what he would fought for, you know, during
He
Enterprise for it
totally
to
should.
happen. So
He
you know.
100% needed to have a picture. of 9/11.
Thank you, Scott Bakula. for
Just like a
saving
framed
9/11.
photo of the guy, the famous photo of the guy like falling.
Fuck.
Just
Oh,
on his
no.
shelf.
Yeah.
Bro.
Jesus. Yeah, that's because, and I was like,
Oh,
okay. I thought you were like you were like a temporal agent, but I thought you went like a big guy. You went like higher up.
He was just like
You
he was
seem
just
kind
in
of like-
charge of dealing with Scott Bakula.
Yeah, I felt like he was a
He
bit
was just
like
he's Archer's handler, basically.
and yeah, and exactly, he kind of fucks up because he has to get Archer involved in the
Yeah.
actual mission. He's literally doesn't he say like I shouldn't be doing this? Like I shouldn't.
There's
be
a lot
asking
of
you for
times I
help?
think when Agent Daniels was like, I'm
really
really
need
kind
your
of fucking
help."
up right now.
Yeah.
I really I shouldn't need your help as much as I do. I'm sorry.
For some reason, I need you to go back to the 70s New York and fucking like find what is it, Taxi Driver Scott? What is he called? Travis Bickle, you know, or whatever. Remember that episode because he's collecting
They're trying
blood
to
or whatever.
They're trying to do Taxi Driver in the
Yeah.
past. The fucking time alien
Yeah,
villains,
the
whatever. It doesn't
lizards.
matter. Either
And-
way, he was Kovich because, well, I guess people probably assumed he was a Q too early, and they wanted
Yeah.
to throw a curveball and be like, actually, he's Agent Daniels, and then they put their
Yeah.
arms on their hips, like,
Yeah. Huh.
bet you
You
didn't
bet-
see that. one
Yeah, I bet you
coming."
couldn't predicted that, huh?
But then they move on because it really doesn't matter, like, at all.
Mhm.
Like, it
Yeah.
literally doesn't factor into anything whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's just a thing. That's
a
what something
trivia.
for the fans.
It's a reference, yeah.
It's something for the for the real Star Trek heads out there.
It's for us to pog at.
Anyway, and now we get to the epilogue, the final thing. Burnham, we're in a nice country house on a random planet. Burnham is waking up. She's old now. She's got old lady makeup on. She's having a cup of coffee. Book is there, and he's got old man makeup on. And they're still married. They're still together. They live in a nice home. She's an admiral, and there's something important happening today. What could it be? Maybe we'll find out. She's expecting to be picked up. She gets picked up by her son who's a new captain of a ship.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a fucking nepotism, maybe, if you ask me.
You couldn't be an engineer or a scientist because you actually need to know stuff.
Yeah. It couldn't just be something. He was like, "Mom, can I have a job, please?" And she's like, "Yeah, okay, don't worry. I'll hook you up. Don't worry."
Mom, just like I'll follow my an example of my favorite Captain Picard and his son.
Yeah, basically.
It's like, do you think that's an excuse that they use? That like from that point, they're like all the admirals are like, well, Picard did it.
Picard did. What are you saying? Picard was compromised emotionally in some way by his son who he didn't know, and then he turned up after fucking 25 years and he was like, "Hi, Dad." Didn't even know he existed.
Starfleet Academy or nothing like that. He was just fucking...
It's almost like it seems too on the nose that when you're watching it, you're like, "There's no way they would do this." It seems like a red herring, but then they do it, and you're like, "Well, oh well, all right then." But it's okay. They saved Star Trek.
They saved Star Trek.
They saved Star Trek, Max. Did you know? Finally.
So they
turned it around. That's why season 5 of Discovery is good. Is because Picard season 3 was good.
Yeah. They go.
They fly. They have a talk.
Headquarters.
They don't even talk about. They don't even like do a little catch up or round up on like every member. They just talk about Tilly for like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, Tilly's. She's the longest serving member of Starfleet Academy."
God.
And what about Stamets? And Burnham is like, "We don't talk about."
We don't. He went down a dark episode in his life after
he asks about Stamets, and she just kind of like sighs and looks out the window. And
like,
he puts what about Adira? Anything good to say about Adira? We don't talk about. We're not talking about them.
But
what about Saru? What about Saru? Wasn't he your best friend?
He divorced.
Saru can go fuck himself for all I care.
Yeah.
Saru can go and...
Remember we called himself a predator? Well, we know now why.
He did call himself a predator.
He did.
There's that bit where he's talking to fucking the Marine lady, and he's like, "I am a predator."
What she didn't realize is that he meant he's a predator.
And the lady next to him was like, "Damn, that's a really cold speech. Do you have to practice that?" And he's like, "No, it just comes to me naturally."
Yeah. So fucking stupid.
Yeah, they only talk about Tilly, who's like you said, the longest tenured professor at Starfleet Academy.
This is a statement that I immediately like. This is wrong. This can't be true. This can't be true because there's aliens that live for 400 years and 10,000 years, and they could be. What the fuck? How?
They get bored after a few years. They're like, I can't stand this shit.
Fucking she couldn't. Burnham? What is she like? 40 years past maybe or something like that. Like I don't know, 30. So it's
Star Trek. So for all we know, it could be like 78.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, but it's like,
especially since it's supposed to be like the year 3000.
Yeah,
plus.
that's true. Yeah, that's true because they live longer and stuff. Yeah. But it's like, still. It doesn't make sense. I was like, that doesn't fucking make sense. I don't get it. Like, why? It's so bad. Like, this show is so funny. Like, they're trying to, like, pin, like, these are so special things that the characters did. And it's like, it doesn't fucking make sense. It's so stupid. It's dumb.
It really doesn't. It doesn't matter. It feels like it's set up to be like, let's do, like, a little scene where Burnham is talking to her son, and it's kind of nice, and they're catching us up on what happened to all the characters. They just talk about Tilly and then move on. Yeah. And then we don't even see Tilly. Anyway, they get to the final mission.
Because it's going to be his first posting as a captain.
Yeah, his first captain's posting. And he's asking her for advice. And so he's like, what should my speech be to my crew? And she's like, I can't even remember what she says. It doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't matter. Anyway, they get to the mission, the destination. There's hundreds of shuttles lined up at service, ready to pay their respects to Burnham, the most important captain in Starfleet
On a
history.
last mission to do something.
Her last mission. What's her last mission? Well, it involves the Discovery, of course. She has to fly it out somewhere. She goes on the ship. Hello, Captain. It's me, Zora. Haven't seen anybody for a while. No, nobody comes to visit me. They put me in the dock.
Mm-hmm.
I've been here for like 25 years on my own. A janitor comes in to clean me every now and then. But
Yeah.
other than that, I don't get to fucking talk to anybody. Isn't that fucked up, huh?
Yeah. It's
Ain't
as
that
if
fucked
you
up?
giving me consciousness was kind of a mistake. I wish
Yeah.
I was dead.
I literally have access to all information. I have trillions of years worth of information that's been gathered up in me, and you all just let me sit on Discovery to myself, not doing anything.
Wow.
My whole reason for coming into existence was to take care of people.
Yeah.
Like, my whole drive and motivation was like, I just want to take care of the crew.
And then
And now I've
Burnham,
just been
Burnham
sitting in
smiles
backyard.
slightly and
She's like-
goes,
She's like,
"I-
oh, Zora.
Zora, oh Zora,
Oh, Zora.
your concerns
I
are
missed
heard, but we gotta send you into deep space. for
Yeah,
you
there's
to
a
sit there."
you got another red directive coming
Yeah.
up, and it involves you sitting not even in dock anymore. You're gonna sit
Just-
out at
it's
the edge
space.
of space for possibly hundreds of years on your own, waiting for short trek to happen. Their final mission, and as Burnham is slipping off into that cold, long sleep of death, she remembers her family on the bridge. She's
Yeah.
got Saru, there's Jet Reno, there's Adira,
There's the
there's,
robot lady from
the
the.
Stamets, the robot lady. I didn't notice the robot lady, but I'll take your word
I
for
think
it.
there was.
Raynor is there, even.
Uh-huh.
The whole gang. Burnham is. It's just like old times. Now, I don't think we're led to believe that any of these people are dead.
Yeah, I don't.
If
It looks like they're
anything-
dead, like they're as if they were dead, and they.
The scene is portrayed as though that she can't see them anymore.
Yeah.
But I feel like
This is
in most
like-
cases, I feel like you still work with most of these people.
This
even.
is like Jacob's ladder, you know? Like they looks
Yeah.
like they're gonna go into the light and like
It
they're
really
gonna
does.
ascend.
It's like this is
Yeah.
Burnham's final moments before fucking somebody pulls the plug.
yeah,
But it's not. It's just her like sitting on the bridge, being like, "Oh, the Discovery, like when I saved the world from the burn,
mm-hmm.
and all those other great adventures we had." Anyway, Zora, let's go. And then the Discovery flies to wherever the fuck it's supposed
Yeah.
to
It
be.
jumps specifically somewhere.
It does
somewhere.
the spore jump, classic signature of the series. It does its spore jump and bam,
And it
end.
goes.
fin.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do the little Star Trek. That was Star Wars, buddy. What are
I
you
know,
doing?
I know.
I
I was
know, I
just
know.
making a joke.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
it.
and then that's it. And then you can continue watching Discovery by watching the episode of Star Trek Calypso, Short Trek Calypso, where Kraft finds Zora, and he goes, "I'm gonna," and Zora is like, "Oh, I really wish you could stay, cause like I'm alone in space for thousands of years," and he's like, "Oh fuck, you know, like." I gotta go. I have like wife and kids. And then she goes, "Oh, okay. Okay." And then she helps him go find his kids.
Discovery's legacy.
and that's it. That's what it is. And
Discovery's legacy.
the showrunners actually talked about how like the ending was supposed to be ambiguous and stuff, and I'm like, no, this feels like you didn't know what to do. Like this, what it feels like, because
Yeah,
I
of
don't see
course.
anything. I don't see you. This feels like you're just connecting Kraft, of course, that episode with Kraft in it. But
Mm-hmm.
why? You didn't have to. Nope. I genuinely believe like. I don't think there's a person in the world that watches this that'll be like, but how did she actually get there? You know, fucking at some point, you know, we don't know when Kraft is happening.
I thought when they played poker at the end of Picard season 3, they didn't know how to end this shit. Ooh boy!
Yeah,
Turns
This
out they
is-
can sink even lower,
yeah,
even deeper into the pit of crap. Yeah, that's it. That's just it. Like, it's not a good epilogue in any way. Like, I can't imagine watching this and being like, "Oh, what an emotional climax! What a nice send off!" It's like Burnham imagines all of her friends hanging out with her again.
I made a little note about this epilogue. Yeah. What this epilogue? This feels like a simulation a fucked up alien would make to keep you from waking up.
Yeah.
This is what it feels like, you know?
This is, it's like you said earlier, dude. She got hit in the head by Maul with a rock, and now she's fucking got a concussion. She's bleeding out on the floor of the
like all the kids in Ed and Eddie, you know?
She's imagining a fucking big headed progenitor coming up and going, "You did it. You solved the puzzle. Great job. Now you get to be in charge of the progenitor technology. Oh, don't worry. I'm going to throw it into the black hole." Yeah. Okay,
bye.
Right. Did you know we didn't even make it? So I can't even explain to you how it works.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That
Next,
is
you like how last episode we talked about how they need something for like Saru and the other characters to do.
Yeah.
So they made up this other character who's definitely on their way. Oh, they're gonna get there and it's gonna mess everything up when they do. Saru, you have to stop them. Okay. If you keep going there, we're gonna destroy your bases that you hinted at. And they're like, "Oh no, you're not." And then he's like, "But we will, because I don't know if you know, but my species is really angry.
Yeah.
We really like killing people." And then she's like, "Fuck, you're a psycho.
Yeah.
You're insane. I'm out of here." And then she leaves, and Saru is like, "Yeah, I was just bluffing."
The thing about it, and I love that because during that conversation, because we were thinking about like how did they know, right? Because they said, remember about the project, they said that like, all the different Primarchs, there you go, that's what they called them. The green Primarchs are going there because whatever, we don't know. And we were like, why are they going? It's like spies maybe or something. No, she says that they just saw a Federation ship and a Breen ship near two black holes, and we're like, some shit must be going down. And I was like, that's such a fucking absolute garbage explanation for why they're fucking going there. Honestly,
dumb as fuck.
It's so fucking
and the
stupid.
fact that it's like her reasoning for pulling out doesn't make any sense. They're like, "Oh, we know about your bases, and we're gonna go and attack them because they're not supposed to be there." And she's like, "You're gonna kill like thousands of your own people even attempting to do that."
Yeah.
And their reasoning is like, "Yeah, but it would weaken you and your claim to the throne."
Yeah.
And it's like, surely anybody in that position would be like, "Well, the only reason you would ever do something like that is because you really want to stop me from going where I'm going."
Yeah, honestly, yeah. There's something really important.
The only reason you would
yeah.
make this threat is because where I'm going is more important than any of that. Thousands of people,
thousands
that
of
you're willing
lives.
to let die.
Yeah, yeah. This like.
So I'm gonna keep going, but instead she's like, "Oh, I can see through this hologram that you're clearly insane."
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah. The scene. It's like this all these like side plots that are happening, except like not the main plot with Burnham going into the hole, are just so dumb. Like you got the one bad. Where
really
Discovery's flying away because the fighters are after them.
They're flying towards the portal, but Nebula. They're being chased by they're being chased by the ships. And then they're like, "We can't fly any closer because there's a volatile pocket of fucking science bullshit gas or some crap. And if we go near there and shoot, then it'll explode and it might destroy the portal. Okay, let's fly away from the portal and blow up the ships. Okay, we did it. We blew up the ships."
No, that's not what it is.
Still gotta do the
they say they have to go to the Nebula because we don't have any weapons to fight the fucking fighters. And so they fly through the nebula, and then they shoot in the nebula, and they blow up all the ships with a single fucking strike. And I was like, the Breen, if they're like a warring fucking like...
They're stupid as fuck, man.
That's the most stupidest trap to fall in to. Like, like that.
Man, hold on, but can you blame them, dude? Their super intelligent leader Maul is off shit.
Yeah,
They've got
new
no good
leader,
leadership
They
now.
don't have the morals are down because they don't have a strong leader.
They were
yeah.
basically just accepting death.
Yeah.
But then, even after they do that, they're like, "Well, we still should deal with the dreadnought. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Let's make a big net of the spores. Let's like vent all of the spores. We'll separate the saucer section from the rest of the ship, and then we'll wrap the big dreadnought in spores, and then that will allow us to like forcefully spore drive them somewhere else."
Yeah, and they do it,
and it works, and it's cool. I don't know. There's a scene
I
where I'm
like
like, you know what? It's interesting. That's
and
an
I
interesting
like
usage of their thing.
Honestly, I kind of like the characterization with Reyna, where he goes like, "Yeah, fucking send them to the edge of space. That's going to be my vengeance." Basically,
He's like, yeah, you know what? Voyager them. Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck them. You know.
Fuck
It's
it.
got a
They
couple
can
of
drive
decades to
home.
come back, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Oh,
literally
boy, I
like
bet they
this
were
is for
peeved.
my like people, basically. That's what
Yeah,
it
yeah,
does, you know.
But either way,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I guess they could have done this sooner at any point during
Yeah.
the show. But also, it was kind of cool. It was a fun use of the spore drive. It was an interesting solution to a problem. And the visual of the dreadnought
Spinning.
getting teleported away was cool. You know,
It was spinning.
So, that was my one thumbs up this episode.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they didn't have anything to do, which is why, you know, I focused on the Burnham stuff at the beginning, because it's like the stuff that the rest of the Discovery crew is doing and what Saru is doing is inconsequential to the main plot line of Burnham is the smartest, most intelligent, and most reasonable captain ever, and is the one who gets to decide what happens to the progenitor tech and decides, I'm going to throw it into the black hole.
Yeah.
Because I have decided that, you know what? The scientists were wrong to trust me.
Yeah.
And we are not ready to have this technology by the fact that we are fighting over it, I guess.
Yeah.
And now I'm just going to throw it into space.
Yeah.
And if the people who made it are still alive, they can make it again.
Just make another
They
one.
can just make it again.
But I was just thinking about just like, because like the progenitor was like, all right, you know, like you decide what you think is right, you know, for this technology. And what if like we said, all those fucking like the psychological fucking buzz quiz that she takes in the maze, you know, the library and stuff like that, like all of that stuff, all of these things could have been like, if someone with enough conviction could have gone through them, basically, and could have been absolutely evil, and could have said, all right, actually, I'm going to use the progenitor technology to create one species, because you actually made a mistake making multiple species, actually. Diversity is bad, and then he nukes everybody, you know, of the... and
Fuck
just
it.
makes
We'll
one...
just make us.
We'll just make, like, one species, and there you go.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and there you go. You know, that's you would, and the progenitor would go like, yes, interesting,
Yeah.
that's good. Let's
The
show me.
progenitor will be
let me
like,
show you
well,
how.
it has to be correct because you wouldn't have been able to solve the puzzles otherwise.
Yeah, let me show you how to
wouldn't
do
have
that.
how else would you have known to make a triangle out
Yeah.
of negative space?
Yeah,
If
and,
not for the fact that that was the correct choice.
And as we said before, I think we made fun of that specific fact that the progenitor technology isn't even. It doesn't, because we don't even get to see it work, right?
Yeah.
We're just told how it works. We don't even know how it, like, why it's so special, honestly. Because, like, they said, oh, someone could make an army. Well, you could make an army of androids.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
You're like, what
I guess you
is
would
it
need
biological?
to use
Is it, like,
resources,
better?
But
You
this
know?
also uses resources because when it's powering up, it starts sucking energy from the
I
black
don't know.
hole.
It has to take that energy from somewhere. You know, I don't know. It's like, it's such
It
a, like...
really doesn't make much
it's
of a
like-
difference.
it
I guess
doesn't-
you
it-
could make stuff really, really quickly this
Yeah,
way.
I guess, you know, but it's like, like it said, their minds are empty. So what, you have like an army of babies now? What the fuck? You know, like, it's like, all of that shit, they completely fumbled it with this, like, at least they show us what it does. Like, I don't know. Because it feels like, oh, like they would
Do you
debris and
remember-
whatever. Maybe they just destroyed the Federation. Got pissed because they realized they can't use that
Yeah,
fucking
it was
technology for
bullshit.
anything, you know?
Yeah, because do you remember in the Time Bug episode, they go forward and the staff, everything's destroyed, and they're like, "What happened?" They're like, "The Breen got the technology," and it's like, what did they do with it?
Yeah, exactly.
Did they just like ram it into stuff? Because I don't know how they could have utilized. Yeah, you could make mindless like bodies
Yeah.
by doing this. I guess maybe they just made the big super moths off of drill.
Yeah, I
They
guess.
just made like 1 billion of those, and then
How
they
could they
were like,
control them
"Where
though?
else going?"
They
Maybe they did.
programmed
They just
in
let
or
them out.
something?
They
I
were
don't
like, "Ah,
fucking
ha, ha, ha,
know. You know, I
go, my pretties, go."
all of that shit. It's like, well, I guess actually, the cool fucking catch-all for all of this goes, oh, you actually don't know. You don't need to know. I'm like, fuck off.
That kind of fucked up shit they could.
Well,
You don't
good
even
explanation when you're a fucking
know.
shitty writer, you know? Like, that's what you, that's the shit, that's the toolkit of a writer. If, like, oh, yeah, I don't know what the fuck to write, so I'll just say, well, that's the message, you know? Would you trust the unknown to someone else that could possibly destroy it?
Now, Max, I would like to end this off by being a little bit productive, if you'll allow me.
Yeah.
Because Ash asked us a while ago, if we were in charge of Discovery, what would we do differently?
Yeah.
Now, I don't. Here's the thing: I don't have the mental. Just talking about the series as a whole is a whole episode on its own. I think.
Yeah.
The kind of changes you would make, but I could talk about what I would do differently in this season if you'll humor me.
Yeah, sure.
First of all, I don't think the Breen Kingdom is good as the main antagonist.
True.
They were left vague in the past, and clearly the gaps you have filled in have been filled in very poorly. It's like when people put like poor quality stuff into like a pothole and it breaks again like really quickly.
Yeah.
It's like it shit still sucks. I think we said it last episode, but I think the android guy from the beginning would have made a more interesting main antagonist.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I think if this collector type guy was the main antagonist at the beginning, or the main antagonist of the series, that would be interesting. I think having Modern Locke more people caught in the middle of this between these two, like between the Federation and between maybe this an antagonist either way, would be more interesting than him being like the antagonists as well.
Yeah. Maybe like have multiple antagonists that are going after the fucking the treasure or something. I don't know.
Might make it more interesting, but I don't think you need
interesting.
multiple. Like, I don't think it needs to be this giant
No,
space
just,
race for the
I don't
thing.
know. It's
But
just
like,
I'm just
just
saying
somebody who's more
anything
interesting than the Breen.
else. That's interesting, you know.
Yeah. But I think something that maybe would have worked better early on is I think it would have been better if Modern Locke were able to work out what this led to maybe earlier, you know? Picture this, like,
somehow.
picture this, the start of the season is like, oh, we have a red directive for you, Burnham. And then they're detailing the mission, and they're like, yeah, there was this, like, old world collection broker guy, who got killed by some people. And they're like, well, what does that have to do with us? And they're like, well, we think they might be onto something really fucking huge. Not just, oh, they've stumbled onto something they don't understand, but like, we think they might actually be working towards something. I think Modern Locke would be more sympathetic characters if the reason why they were trying to go for this, they knew the potential, I guess, at least somewhat. Maybe something that a scientist left behind beforehand.
Yeah.
About what this thing could do. And they want a child, but obviously, like, Maul's biology does not work with Breen biology, you know? Yeah. So they're like, this is our best bet if we want to, like, have a family, I guess. I think Locke can still die halfway through, and then that, like, changes the way Maul approaches the situation.
She brings up the young. She revives him as a baby and brings him up.
No.
Yeah, that's what you meant. Yeah. Okay. No.
No, but she goes like, "Fuck, I need to bring him back," you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Let alone make a new kid, and
It's
then at the end that ties together.
this,
Maybe that could be
this galaxy being a single mother. So she's like, I need to bring the dad back.
maybe that is something she does at the end when she does get control. Maybe she's able to wrestle control from Burnham, and the thing is like the progenitor is like, yeah, I can't bring him back, but I can make an entirely new thing. And then she's like, fuck it, you know what? Just make a okay. I'll have our child, and then I'll raise him. I'll raise the child in a way that would make him proud as well. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Like
either way, I think that would make them more sympathetic and have a more interesting ending.
Because that's the prediction. I feel like you said that while we were watching about.
I did say at one point that it's like they want to have a kid or something.
Yeah,
and that's why they want to get the progenitor tech. But ultimately, no. The stupid reason they had was they had a blood
feud or whatever, like
fucking
blood
bounty,
yeah,
and they wanted to clear it by being like, "Hey, can we just give you this?"
Yeah,
but then they were also muddied it by being like, "Also, by the way, Locke is the prince of the Breen."
Yeah,
it's like you've really fucked this up, or you really. Anyway,
all this shit.
Yeah, I think. By
the way, from the way they were portraying the Breen, they would have taken that technology and shot him in the head. Like, that's what would have happened.
Oh, they would have shot Maul and then just taken Locke back and been like,
exactly.
all right, now we're in charge of the Breen. We're the Primarch that has the prince. We win.
Yeah, there you go. So that's what it seems like.
I think Locke can... He doesn't need to be the prince of the Breen. He can just be like a guy. He can just be like a Breen guy that defected, and they're like, you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
We don't allow Breen to
marry outside the race. I don't know.
Yeah,
just make him a fucking like weird xenophobes, whatever. You know?
Who cares?
It doesn't matter. They're fucking goo people.
Here's one thing that I think would have been more interesting, or at least like broken it up a bit more, and maybe characterized the scientists more than just being like some random guys who are like, we know all of the perfect tests that will make somebody that makes only a good person can get to the progenitor technology. You know, I think if they had scenes of these scientists like talking about the progenitor technology and its capabilities to hype it up a bit more, but then also characterize these guys outside of just like Burnham being like, you know, this scientist was a master of like flowers. He was a botanist, and he was brought on because they wanted to see what kind of plants they could make with the progenitor technology. And he was like, oh, they could make really scary plants with this. And his test was about you had to find out which flower was the most peaceful flower in a garden.
Yeah, and it's like they could have, and that way, if they did, they could have like Hugh. Like maybe go and like, because he's a fucking psychologist, go like, oh, this is what the, like maybe this, oh, he like psychoanalyzes them or something like that, you know? Because, and by the way, I just remembered, he makes the fucking hologram Abuela.
Yeah, remember Abuela?
Why?
Because he needed to talk to her about something.
Yeah, and fucking...
He needed to talk to her about her mystic powers that she had and her really nice food that she made.
I just remembered this. Like, why is that, like...
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
It's so fucking stupid. But yeah, so...
Yeah, so I think some scenes like that, I don't know if they would be like in holographic messages like they did with the Romulan guy, or if they do just have straight up like cut like flashback scenes, you know. But I think they could be good. I think there's potential there to show some like tension. You could almost maybe like tie it in at the end where it's like a version, the echoes of these scientists with the progenitor at the end, you know?
Yeah.
You could also have a scene with that guy trying it and stuff, you know, trying to solve the puzzle and dying. I don't know. I think there's potential there to like break it up so that you don't have to fill time with Hugh being like, I'm changing.
I don't know what's going on.
I've changed, and fill the time with other fucking bullshit that I can't even fucking remember because it was inconsequential to the plot that they're trying to push towards the entire time.
Yeah.
Either way, I think that would have been interesting.
Yeah, then, like you said, it was the thing with, like, you know, maybe having the scientists themselves having different opinions, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Some tension in that way. Like, they're trying to decide... but at first they're trying to decide whether or not they should use this technology, and then also trying to decide, like, well, if we're not going to use it, how do we even decide who can use it?
Yeah.
And more tension in that way from the scientists, as opposed to just having them be like riddle masters coming like, if you want to solve my clue and get a piece of the puzzle, define peace.
Yeah, that's...
Peace is when everybody gets along. Or is it when some people get along?
Ooh, that's true.
I never thought about it that way. Ah, but you considered it anyway. Here is the piece of the puzzle.
Here's the golden star.
Here is the golden
A chocolate
star.
coin.
Well done.
And,
I think that would have been good.
Yeah, and I feel like another thing, and that's goes kind of also to do with like overall Star Trek Discovery sort of thing, like just the like Burnham's and Book's relationship feels a little bit like not as
this season,
like especially in this season is very. I don't know. I just can't get over that fact. The fact that he was a terrorist, like he did a horrendous crime, like he did awful shit basically, and I kind of like read back through like the last season. And I was like, he was persistently like at one point Burnham says to him, "If you do this, you're burning every bridge you've built," and he does it anyway, and there are no consequences of that shit whatsoever.
This does lead into my next point. I think I don't know what it would be, but I think they could have a different reason for bringing Book in rather than the connection to Maul.
Absolutely.
I think instead, Maul should have had a connection to Raynor instead.
Yeah, that's true. Because
I think that way you can better cement Maul. You can at least have some kind of backstory that gives Maul a better reason to have a mistrust for the Federation. You know.
Yeah.
So that doesn't feel like it's a complete arse pull at the end. And on top of that, it means you don't have to have Raynor have a connection to the Breen that's like so flimsy that it just comes up so he can be like the Breen are evil, and everybody's like, don't say that, that's racist, and then it turns out they're evil, and they're like, damn, sorry.
Because we like
bad.
We laughed at the fact that he brings up the fact that I've been on so many red directives. It's like, well, done some bad shit, some bad shit, and Mal is like maybe was on the receiving end on one of those orbital bombardments,
like maybe
or something.
Maybe like during the burn years, he was trying to help her family, help the planet that she lives on, and then he took like a vested interest in her or something. Maybe they had to abandon the planet or something because like a different force came up and they just couldn't take care of them, so they had to leave.
Yeah.
And they had to abandon them behind, and then Maul is left, and like, I don't know. Anything like that would have been more interesting than...
Yeah.
I think Maul didn't need to have a connection to Book
and the
all.
fucking slap in the face also at the end where Maul... Oh, another thing with like... Dr. Kovich is like...
Kovich is just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna see if Maul wants to...
join us,
She's got a lot of gumption. I'm gonna hire her for my secret crew, and it's like, why?
Yeah, and another thing that also made me just like roll my eyes so badly is when she's in the medical bed at the end and fucking Book comes up to her and goes like, "Oh well, maybe you'll think about your dad differently now." And I was like, "Fuck off! Just shut up! Just stop fucking! You're just coping so hard, Book. Like fuck off!" Just stop mentioning him.
The Kovich thing was like just so like, why do you want to hire her?
Yeah,
she's stupid.
I don't fucking know, man. It's just so like, this character's so cool and shit. And
she's so odd, isn't she? Kind of like she's like she doesn't take shit from anybody.
Yeah,
and she's always got the upper hand, no matter what.
Yeah. It's like, and another thing about Burnham's and Book's relationship, which is like the fucking the fact that like the strain came from the fact we haven't spoken to each other. Basically, it's just such a like you're like so uninteresting.
You were just like, I forgot to call him for a year.
Yeah, because it's like
I forgot to call you for a year too.
And it's like a fucking I don't know, maybe a reason could be good behind it of like, oh well,
maybe
you
one
did
of
try
them made
to,
a decision to be like, I'm not going to talk to them anymore.
Yeah,
because the way it ends off last season is that they're like, we're still kind of together, but we have to be apart for now because you have to do community service.
Yeah. And then we're boom together like, again, It's like
boy, we haven't talked to each other in so long. Awkward.
Apart, but we're actually together again. Boo, You know, it's
Like, I think Book could have still been in the show, just like if Maul and Locke are smugglers or runners or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
I can't fucking remember the stupid
couriers.
thing.
I think they call
Couriers.
them. Yeah.
I don't know, the stupid bullshit name they have. You could bring Book in just because it's like, well, he's a guy who's got experience there, and he can help me. He can help us track them down, you know, because they're on the cusp of something huge. And we got to catch them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think those changes could have been more interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's
you know,
all I got.
we could talk about this stuff, but it's like in the end, they didn't make the decisions that they did. They made, honestly, like that's the thing. It's like, again, I'm bringing up something that we said before. You sometimes watch something, you go like, "Oh, this is like a cool idea, but it kind of sucked in the execution," you know, or something like that.
Yeah.
But here, I genuinely can't think of like cool concepts, except for like maybe the sport drive jump that you like mentioned. That was a cool like little thing that they did, you know, like like I don't know, like all of that. Like I feel like this is just devoided of any sort of like cool stuff in this, you know. I don't know.
It's just fucking bad, man. It just
Yeah.
sucks. It's a bad TV show. It never really properly got off. Every single season starts somewhat strong and then just falls apart because I don't know. I don't know what the reason is. I can't say that they don't have a writer's room for this kind of show, but I can only assume that it's just like they have a general overarching narrative that they want to tell that is probably like penned out by the head writers, the lead story writers and stuff, and then they just have like a retinue of smaller like writers that they go like, okay, write an episode that fits into this area of the plot, you know, and then it just ends up being like crap, man. Bring back a writer's room. Everybody needs to be in the same room coming up with ideas on a big board,
You know
and
what?
everybody gets together and they go, we should do this here. What if this happened? What if we do an episode like this? And then everybody gets creative together.
You know,
we don't have that now. People
you know
are
what
separate.
happened? You know what
What
happened? It's
happened?
work from home ruined everything. It's just that.
I would love to say work from home ruined everything, but it was bad before the COVID.
No, it was work from home. It's ruined everything.
I mean, to a sense, though, I do agree. It's like, I mean, that's what I mean when I say there's no writer's room, because they just like, they fucking commission the scripts out to some guy who's like sitting in his home, writes it up, sends it out. Here you go. They have a meeting like, yeah, we like this part, this part, this part. We didn't like all this stuff. Get rid of this. Can you make sure to hit this bit harder because it needs to factor into this part of the plot line? And it's just bad, man. It's just bad. This show just sucks. Show sucks, and the people writing it did a bad job. End of the day. Sorry, not sorry. Did a bad job. I watched that Defunct Land video earlier.
Yeah, which one?
Because I was bored, and I was like, everybody always talks about this Defunct Land guy.
Mm-hmm.
Check out some of his videos. I watched the Fast Pass one first because it was the highest viewed one, and it's the one I heard people talk about the most, so I was like, alright, cool. And then I watched the Disney Channel song one afterwards, and I didn't really like that video. I didn't really care about the subject matter, but obviously the way the main message at the end is about like what is art and what is a legacy and creativity and stuff. And it's like, and I was watching that today thinking about the finale of Discovery, and I'm like, and I'm still like, yeah, no, I like, I mean, I already thought so before the video, but it's like, all of this is art still at the end of the day.
Yeah.
All of it is art made by people doing a job to varying levels of devotion.
Yeah.
And who am I to say that it's bad? But you know what? Fuck it anyway. This shit is bad. This is bad. It's art and it sucks. It doesn't suck because it's art. It is art, but also it is bad art.
Art can be bad.
The people that made it were either phoning it in or doing a bad job on many fronts. There's lots of bad acting in it. Not even cheesy, endearing, entertaining acting. Just bad, flat acting,
Like, Maul's
overacting.
actress was pretty not
Mole's
good.
actress, you did a bad job. I'm sorry. I didn't think. Maybe it's because you weren't. They didn't edit it correctly, or you were
Oh,
given
the
bad
director
lines.
was bad.
Regardless, the director was bad. The direction was bad. The VFX was bad. The writing was bad. The music was bland and just normal. Every now and then they'd throw in a little Star Trek-y fucking motif. But outside of that, it's just nothing. The stories are bad. Everything is terrible.
Yeah.
This show is bad.
I'm
I'm sorry.
I don't know, man.
I'm sorry I don't feel I'm not trying to be like I'm the arbiter of what is good and bad. But for this one, you did a real stinker of a job, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like you don't
know? You don't know if it's bad,
I'm
or-
just saying that I don't know if I don't think it's just prestige TV. It's really fucking fucked it up, you know. Like
We have evidence. Even though I don't like Picard season 3, it's better than this shit.
Yeah.
And we have Strange New Worlds, and they're both made in the same framework as this when it comes to, prestige TV.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
this
don't
is
know.
just way, way worse, man. We have evidence of them being able to do this type of modern
They're able
television
to execute it, yeah. But
in this franchise and do it pretty well to varying degrees. But all of Discovery has just been like bad.
yeah.
There's really no point where it's like, yeah, they really nailed this plot line. Like,
Yeah.
it's really all just from start to finish. This show is just not worth watching in any way.
Even
at any
like
point.
yeah, exactly. And even like I don't know, people were back in the day, I guess. It's like when, season 1 was coming
Yeah.
out and like people really enjoyed like Lorca, for example,
Yeah.
or something like that. And they completely like no other character basically in the show people kind of like were like, oh, this is a cool character, except for Lorca. And they made him into a groomer,
Yeah.
like insane groomer. And I was like, fuck, you really did think you can top this, didn't you? That you threw away your most liked character. Basically, you thought you could write like something better. Basically.
Let's think about what we've had. Let's think
Yeah.
about what we've had. We've had season 1 Klingon War and Mirror Universe.
Yeah.
Season
season
2
two?
we've had
Red
AI.
Angel?
We've had AI, the Red Angel time-based story, and the Time Crystals.
Yes.
Season 3 we had the Burn,
The
a
Burn.
planet made of dilithium that resonated with
Asteroid.
all of the dilithium everywhere because a boy who was part dilithium yelled really loudly.
Yeah.
And that basically destroyed everything everywhere that was powered by dilithium, which is pretty much everything
Yeah.
in that universe. Season 4, you had a big fucking black hole sucking up everything from a different galaxy.
Yeah.
And then they go and meet the people from the other galaxy, and they're like, oops,
Oops,
sorry.
we didn't mean it.
Uh-oh, how bad. Anyway, you're gonna go home now, right? We
Yeah.
won't do it anymore. See ya.
Yeah.
And then this season, what do we get? We get the progenitor technology. What does it do? I don't know. It creates life, whatever that means.
Yeah.
How can people utilize it for evil? I don't know. Just know that they can. Who's
Yeah.
our main antagonists? The 2 dumbest people in the world who are portrayed to be the smartest people in the series.
Yeah.
And the Breen.
And the evil
And
brain.
The Breen. The
And-
evil Breen who are even stupider.
Yeah.
Even stupider. And
Yeah.
and at the heart of it all, Michael Burnham.
Yeah.
Captain.
all
what a
of the-
legacy.
All of this shit's just like world-ending stuff, Like it's
Every
stuff
single
that
time, it's like, if we
world-ending
don't
shit.
solve this, the universe will blow up.
Yeah.
If we don't solve this, then everything will be bad forever, and we're the only ones that can
That's
solve
the
it.
thing that I had the note here about the overall like kind of trajectory of the thing. It's just like just smaller fucking stuff,
Yeah.
Smaller problems to deal with,
Mhm.
problems that aren't like that are like kind of moral conundrums, because there wasn't a lot of moral quandary stuff, you know, in this shit, you know. Well, if to use the progenitor technology or not, I don't know, because I don't know what the fucking progenitor technology does, you know. Like, apparently it's not that good from what we heard at the end, so I don't know.
Yeah, you can make a lifeless homunculus.
Keep it
or
around.
a mindless homunculus to just stand
Fucking-
around.
Yeah.
Or
don't
I
know.
guess you can do what the progenitors did, which is just put semen in all of the oceans on
Yeah.
every planet.
And I can do that myself, you know.
Heyo.
Currently, you know.
You know what? Let's leave it on that. I think that's
Yeah.
a good point to end it on. Do you think hold on, actually, I forgot to mention. Do you think Jakub was one of the progenitors?
Yeah, of course. He was.
made the white people?
He made white people as vengeance.
All of the other progenitors
that
were
was his
designing
grave.
like
That was
yeah.
his grave in the progenitors technology. Was Jakub's grave, because
that's Jakub's grave.
it was
All
in
the
the
other
end that white
progenitors were
people
creating,
destroyed him
like-
too.
Yeah. All the other progenitors were making like, you know, other people.
Yeah.
And then the evil progenitor came up and said, what if I make the white ape?
Yeah, the white ape.
The white man.
And they couldn't stop him in time.
He did it. He snuck their DNA in with the rest of it.
I'm cooking here.
Earth was going to be a utopia if it weren't for the Jakub progenitor who created the evil white person. Yeah,
damn it.
yeah. I guess that's it. I guess that's the secret of Star
fuck.
Trek. That's
Well-
the secret. You know what? You know what's interesting as well. In the original progenitor episode, the implication is more like, oh, if you see a humanoid alien, chances are they're like a progenitor guy.
Mm-hmm.
The ending of this season, Burnham's monologue seems to imply that everything was the progenitors, even the people that look like bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's looking at all
Yeah.
these people at the wedding reception and stuff, like these weird fish and bug people that don't look anything like humans. But the implication is that the progenitors made them too, I guess.
Yeah, because they have
They made everything.
different environments, remember?
Yeah. They
Because I
made
thought
everything.
they just made intelligent life, right? I thought they just made...
I thought the implication was that they made humanoids, which is why it's like Cardassians, Vulcans, Romulans, Klingons, and
Because they
and
couldn't
humans.
do it at the time, but they would have like a fucked up alien if they could do that. They'll have like
I
a
mean, I
like
guess.
in
We'll
Squid
never
Person
know.
or something. We could
We'll never really
write to
know.
them. We could write to the writers or something.
Yeah. Dear Alex Kurtzman.
No, it's not Alex Kurtzman. I said to the original episode.
Oh.
Yeah. Ask them. Let's ask them what they think of this ending.
Well, that's the end of Star Trek Discovery Season 5. And the
Oh.
show in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's done.
Well, all the people thinking that this is going to say this got Star Trek off on a start, you know, to make more Star Trek media.
This was the start of New Trek. This was it.
I don't
It's
think
finally
so,
over.
man. I don't know. I got a bad feeling about this. Got a bad feeling about this.
If you would like to listen to more, you can subscribe and like the show Dead Ensigns that you're listening to currently on Spotify or iTunes or Amazon Music. And you know what? Every single episode you're going to get me, Ben, and my friend Max.
Yeah, that's me.
And if you wanna tell us your thoughts, you can email us deadensigns@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment on YouTube, but you can also find the podcast if you feel like watching it as a video, even though there's no real benefit either way. That just might be the way you can look at the thumbnails I make if you do YouTube. The thumbnails don't get to go anywhere else.
Wasted effort.
No, I have fun. But yeah, that's it. So join us next week when we talk about Rebel Moon Part 2 for episode 100. Bye!
Bye.
It's shorted out, sir. We're gonna have to phaser it.
Then what are you waiting for?
Right away, sir.
Faster would be better, Ensign.
I can't, sir. We don't want to...
That's enough.
But, sir...
Stand aside, Carlton. I'm going through. You're alive. Good.